Hey guys, I'm Swishtari, and this is the overview of one of the biggest patches that we've gotten in Deadlock to date, the May 8th update. So let's dive right in and get started with the map. Okay, damn. Coliseum Dome? Whoa, what the? Everything is so different. Look at all the new artwork on everything. Oh, and they like glow and hover. Oh, this looks so clean, so snappy now.
Little bit of advice.
I love the artwork on these items. Oh my god. Look at this new area. This is dope. Okay, so the shrines are what, tucked away down here now? Oh, holy hell. That is amazing. The patron has his little throne now. That's cool. What else has changed? Oh my god, look at the mini map. That is so cool. I love the little eye symbol. That it's like a clean little rustic. New boxes. Gold Buddha statues are still the same. This area is pretty similar. Oh, there's a new symbol for the urn on the map too. That's cool. Oh, look at the new textures on this church. That looks awesome. And the inside is so dark and mysterious. Wow. The game in general just feels a lot darker in some of these buildings. They've just turned the brightness down a ton. I mean, it still looks like everyone will be very visible, but the general like lighting seems much darker. Oh, they turned this building into kind of just a one-story that you can jump on top of. That's gonna be really good for defending your tower and getting a different angle on people in the mid lane. You can see like they're starting to add these tiny little textures and cool little things to the sides of buildings that really make everything look so much more dynamic. I really like the new color scheme and the new Coliseum type like fortress that is the base you're trying to defend. I mean, before you had a little balcony there and some windows to look at, but now if you want to push these towers, you really got to get up in there and challenge the enemy team. Defense is going to be much easier and offense is going to be much harder, because now, in order to really siege these bases, you've got to put yourself at a height disadvantage and in a very narrow corridor here to get Lash ulted or Dynamo ulted. This rope looks new too, for sure. Oh, there's a whole third story area now, overlooking the Walker and blue lane to help you rotate between yellow and blue, or green and blue on the other side, I suppose. More buffs for Lash mains. Love that. This is sick, man. Sick. What would you call this? I guess this is the Mildred Visions now. The eyeglasses store. Oh, new bridges. They're kind of elevated now. So before you could kind of see all the way down and shoot somebody, you could get shot from the enemy team, but now you have to actually step up and challenge. And the sliding is cool off of it too. But man, this shop. I mean, look at the detail behind like the old school noir background of like kind of this like gritty Lovecraftian 80s New York style. I mean, this is so cool. And all the items are pretty much brand new. A vacuum grenade? Excuse me? That's sick. Hello? Man, I just want to see the map right now. The graphics on everything has changed. Does that sign make a sound? It does. Sound engineer. Good for you. But if you're defending from up here, holy, is the angle perfect for you. I mean, you're barely showing your head, and you can just hit these tiny little crevices to get angles on people, and they have to push up to like here to defend, to attack these towers now. Okay, so let's take a look at the shop, because this is insane how much they've changed everything here. Just from a visual perspective, I love the overhaul. It's got this like Lovecraftian design to it. It's like New York noir to the next level. So everything in the 800 category is almost exactly the same as it was in the 500 category previously. You've got close quarters, extended mag, which was previously basic magazine, headshot booster, high velocity rounds, monster rounds, and rapid rounds and restorative shot. So high velocity rounds, for instance, now upgrades into express shots, or upgrades into armor piercing rounds at a 6400 level. So express shots was what was previously known as pristine emblem, is pretty similar, but it's got a different passive now, which after not attacking for 4 seconds, you now fire twice in quick succession with increased damage, and this it consumes extra ammo. Or armor piercing, which has a 65% chance to ignore their bullet resist. Holy, people are gonna get shredded by this. In the 1600 category, which was 1250 before, we have some similar items like active reload, fleetfoot, which, oh my god, look at the picture for fleetfoot. That's amazing. Intensifying magazine, which was 3k before, they've adjusted the numbers and brought it to 1600. Kinetic dash, another awesome picture. Love the little bunny. Long range, melee charge, mystic shot, all similar to previous items. Slowing bullets, spirit shredder bullets, split shot. That's new. Multi-shot, hitting more than one hero? Wow, that's cool. Swift Striker, same as before, without the negative element to it. Titanic Magazine. Some new items like Backstabber is included in here. After you attack enemies from behind, you reduce their bullet resist, and you can see through walls. And you're given extra movement speed. That is so cool. And your footstep sound distance is minus 50%. That's huge. A lot of pros and high tier players, the only way they know a gank's coming is they can hear the little pitter-pattern foots that are asynchronous from the troopers. They can hear someone that has a different footstep sound from their current laning opponent person. If you reduce that distance by 50%, oh man, you are gonna get jump scared out of nowhere by a cloaked haze, a cloaked wraith, or just anyone coming in from the side that you're not expecting. That's huge. So with blood tribute, you're actually sacrificing health to gain fire rate and debuff resist and movement speed. It also reduces your healing, so it's not like you can like health drain and then leech that back as effectively, but it might be an interesting trade-off item. Burst fire, another really cool picture. I love that. It upgrades from rapid rounds now, which is this item here. And you'll notice that there's an upgrade symbol as you are trying to upgrade from one item to the other, and that next item is discounted by the amount of your previous item. Call to Sacrifice now upgrades from monster rounds. Another really good item for jungling. It looks like if you hit an NPC, you get bonus souls. It looks like if you use this and you're jungling, you get a long buff. Actually, for 180 seconds, you get 25 increased fire rate and 350 bonus health and 50% ability range. That is going to be a standard inclusion for a lot of people, I'm sure. That is a very, very long buff. And on top of that, it gives you 4 out of health combat regen. Heroic Aura, about the same. It's got an interesting new passive aura as well now. Hollow Point. Oh, Hollow Point was previously in the lowest category, but now, so Sharpshooter is the same. Spirit Rend is what is replacing Spellslinger headshots, essentially, with pretty similar stats and abilities to it. Tesla Bullets now buffed a little bit and is part of an upgrade to Capacitor in the future. We'll touch on that in a second. Actually, let's just go now. So Capacitor, the upgraded Tesla Bullets, has an increased jump and an active chain lightning launch projectile that removes all non-ultimate buffs and applies a strong slow that recovers over time. So this lightning reduces their speed and removes buffs. That's going to be huge. There's not many purge type abilities in the game for your enemies that have buffs. I haven't seen any previous to this one, so that's going to be really cool. I wonder how that's going to play off with some of these items that give you buffs like Cultist Sacrifice. Pretty short cooldown on it too, like 30 seconds. Toxic Bullet, pretty standard, the same as it was before. And weighted shots, interesting. So your bullets are slower by 25%, but do increase 30% damage. Armor piercing seems crazy strong. It increases your bullet velocity as well as giving you a 65% chance to just ignore all bullet resist. So turn your bullets into true damage. That's more than half the time your bullets will be hitting for 100% value. That is huge. I haven't gone to the vitality items yet, but I'm guessing that there's been some strong resistances to some of these crazy powerful items, and being able to ignore those resistances is going to be huge. Crippling Headshot, increase in cost, and actually does less in terms of reduction, but it does apply a healing reduction now, which is kind of nice. It upgrades from a half cost item, which is Weakening Headshot, so interesting to see that build path kind of expand a little bit more. And now we have an upgrade to Melee Charge, a fan favorite for Abrams players. it now is called Crushing Fists, which gives you a 75% heavy melee distance. Whoa, I gotta try that. Oh my god, look at the distance. And your heavy melees now will give you bonus damage. And it gives you a 30% bonus damage on your heavy melee every 7 seconds on a passive. That's insane. Along with the additional melee damage and bullet resist, this is going to be a must include on characters like Abrams and probably Calico as well. Your melee damage will now restore ammo and apply a stacking debuff. Heavy melee applies 2 stacks. At a 6 stacks, it actually stuns the target. That's kind of crazy. So if you're a Calico or a Yamato player, maybe you got a lot more light melees and you can try and get 6 in. That's kind of hard to do. Most high level players will parry you at some point in time if you're going to try and build up stacks like that. So I don't see that being super effective in high tier lobbies, but it is a really cool effect. And I think with how much damage this adds to players like Calico and Abrams, you'll see a lot of them running this. Shadow Weave, another incredible art picture. I mean, I love this little tiny cat. It's like the shadowy eyes. I mean, that's super cool. Silencer, pretty similar to what it was before. Again, a build up over time that silences your opponent. Spellslinger. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, so it's a stacking buff every time you cast a spell or use an item. That gives you an additional 10% fire rate and minus 10% reload time speed. So at 6 stacks, that's 60% fire rate and 60% lower reload speed time.
Get your Jezebels later.
Let's turn off no reload. Really quick reload down. So you could build that up over time too. Oh, that's 7 stacks. Not sure if that's intended or not. Okay, wow. Okay, let's take a look at the green vitality items now. All new artwork on a lot of these. These are so cool. Oh, we got Cheat Death. That's a new one. Wow. I mean, Counterspell, Witch Mail. I mean, let's just start at the beginning. I'm overwhelmed. Okay, at the 800 category level, we have the base items, extra health, extra regen, extra stamina. Not a lot of changes to those, pretty standard. Healing Right, again, the exact same as it was before. Melee lifesteal, pretty similar to what it was before. Now we have Rebuttal, so on a parry, a parry related item. On successful parry, you heal yourself and you return that damage to your target, temporarily gaining increased melee damage. Whoa! So this is a great counter item if you are super confident with your parrying against like a Calico or a Yamato or an Abrams and you want to build this in with something like debuff reducer. I mean, that's a guaranteed kill on a parry for sure. Sprint boots, pretty similar to what it was before. Items that I'm not seeing that were on there before, none. Okay, let's look at the 1600 category. Bullet vest, which was basically bullet armor before. Bullet vest, which was basically bullet armor before, now actually has an offensive capability in it as well. So that was a big reason why everyone went combat barrier, was because it had that offensive capability built into it. There's just an armor option for bullets and an armor option for spirit. Bullet lifesteal, pretty similar, built into some other cool items like Fury Trance and Vampiric Burst and Leech now. I love that. That's amazing. Enduring Speed, which builds into Juggernaut. Oh my god, I can't wait to see that one. Guardian Ward, which is like Divine Barrier essentially, but it's a sub-level of it. Divine Barrier now being a 6400 top tier item. I gotta know what that does. Healing Booster, which now builds into Healing Tempo. Healing Nova, which applies a heal to everyone around you, builds from Healing Right as it did before. So let's take a look at the new barrier type items. There's Weapon Shielding and Spirit Shielding. So these items, now you get that barrier after you take a significant amount of damage, whether it be spirit damage or bullet damage with Weapon Shielding. Bullet Resilience, super tanky item, pretty straightforward. Counterspell, a really cool item. It looks like it's similar to Rebuttal in the way that it is rewarding players for successfully parrying enemies. Oh my god, wait, I just thought about something. This is a parry for abilities now. So you can parry, for instance, a Wraith ult or a Power Slash as you did before. And so if someone's, shooting at you and uses an ability on you, you can actually parry that ability now. Oh, that's so cool. What a cool new dynamic for the game. So now you can parry not only melees, but abilities with this. Oh, I love that. That's so cool. Fury Trance giving you additional fire rate and bullet resist, but it silences you and disables stamina usage. Life Strike, pretty similar to what it was before. Really cool graphic update to it. I love the new artwork on this. Majestic Leap, another amazing artwork. I mean, look at this guy like hopping over the moon. That's awesome. Trophy Collector, an upgrade to Sprint Boots. Now you get additional score when you get an assist or kill. Holy hell, this gives you passive soul generation after you get kills of 20 souls per minute at a max of 14 stacks. So that could give you a total of almost 280 souls per minute if you happen to get 14 stacks or kills or assists, which isn't that hard to generate really across a game. So this could pay for itself within 10 to 12 minutes after you buy it, as well as giving you an additional 400 bonus health, 14% ability range, and tons of speed. This item looks crazy strong. For people that like to roam and gank a lot, that seems amazing. Cheat death. Okay, so this is interesting. It looks like this blocks lethal damage and makes you temporarily immune to death, but it doesn't heal you in any way, and it reduces your damage and healing by 70%. As well as your movement speed by 2 meters per second. That's huge, actually. I think the negatives from this are really going to outweigh the positives in terms of its cost. A cheat death like this might be useful on some characters that are like balls to the wall, crazy, like Yamato, you know, all in with her ultimate, or Haze. But I think with most characters, that the cost is going to offset whether or not this is effective for them, and the base stats not being really there. Colossus gives it a 600 bonus health and 50% weapon damage, but again, it's pretty similar to what it was before. It makes you bigger, stronger, bigger resists. Divine Barrier now gives you 600 barrier and removes all non-stun debuffs from the target. So it won't remove stuns, but anything that could burn the character down or afflict the character with poison or just reduce their abilities, it will remove that and give them a barrier. So that's really huge, great support item in the 6400 category. Div, about the same as it was before, gives you spirit power and a barrier on using your ultimate. Pretty cool. Healing Tempo, a new item that upgrades from Healing Booster now. So Healing Tempo is a passive that every time you heal someone, it gives them bonus fire rate and movement speed for 7 seconds. So this is an automatic include item in characters like Dynamo and Calvin for sure. Infuser now flipping from a purple to a green item and going into the 6400 category level. So that's one of the most expensive items now. Gives you a ton of spirit lifesteal and conditional spirit power and some really good base stats. Juggernaut, interesting. So this is great on characters that take a lot of damage. Their resistance is slow and they reduce the fire rate of their enemies that get hit. So if you're a Mo and Krill or an Abrams with this big beefy hitbox, this is a great way to resist some of that damage, heal up a little bit faster, and reduce the enemy team's damage output without even having to do anything to them in return. Leash, pretty standard, upgrade from Spirit or Bullet Lifesteal, and probably an auto include for a lot of builds as they go into higher tier categories. Plated Armor, a high tier item that can potentially deflect bullets at a 30% chance or prevent all weapon damage from on-hit effects, and that's at a 60% chance. That seems a little bit low, but it might be an interesting item to build into. There's not a great base stat to it at only 100 health, but we'll see how it turns out. Spellbreaker. Oh man, this is interesting. If you have a out of control lash in your game, this is going to be the perfect counter for that. It reduces spirit damage by 75% on your next significant high spirit damage taken on a 14-second cooldown. That's so low. This gives you 25% spirit resist and 25% debuff resist. I mean, this is a huge defensive item for breaking spells up, just as the name intends it to be. Unstoppable, similar to what it was before. Nothing really crazy there. I don't know if it was 5 seconds or not, but that seems like a long time. And Witchmail, another really good spirit counter. 20 spirit resist, 10 spirit power. Taking heavy hits of spirit damage from an enemy reduces a random enemy ability cooldown by 3 seconds on a 1 second cooldown. So, I mean, characters that are giving you tons of spirit damage hits back to back, this could be really deadly to them. Okay, speaking of spirit, let's look at the spirit category. I mean, I just love the artwork. I mean, look at these like tiny little cool things behind the scenes of each of these sections, the study guides for celestial alchemy and forbidden linguistics and more. I mean, just like this hidden like Harry Potter style background. I love these. Let's look at the 800 category. We got extra charge, similar to what it was before. It gives you an extra ability charge on some things. Extra spirit and burst, pretty similar to what they were before. Extra range, mystic expansion now. Mystic regeneration seems new. Dealing spirit damage to enemy grant you bonus health regen stacks Stacks when dealing damage to different heroes. Okay, interesting. So that could be really effective. 4 HP per second. I mean, that seems pretty good actually. And then there's Rusted Barrel, which is a spirit item that builds into Disarming Hex. It reduces the fire rate of enemies. So kind of like a Withering Whip, if you will, but a smaller version of it. And it builds into Disarming Hex, which, oh my god, it now disarms them for 4 seconds at 3200 above that, and now it disarms the opponent as opposed to just reducing their attack speed and damage. Cold Front, which now builds into a bigger item called Arctic Blast. What is this? Expanding, freezing, and slowing. Targets take increased damage while frozen. It freezes them for 0.75 seconds. Wow, that's cool. So a little bit of extra CC in terms of an item. This is going to be a huge auto include for any carry that is, you know, deep into the enemy teams while they're fighting, like Mo and Krill or Yamato. Quicksilver Reload, same as before, but it now has an upgraded version of it, which is Mercurial Magnum. That's a tongue twister. Let's see what this does. Mercurial Magnum gives you increased bonus spirit damage, bonus fire rate, and bonus bullets. So Mercurial Magnum, it's going to be one of those items that if you're a gun-based character, that automatically includes some form of Quicksilver Reload in your build in terms of reload economy. You might want to lean more into this as it gives you extra fire rate and base bullet damage, which is kind of cool on characters like Wraith or Haze. I don't see this being used much by spirit-based carries that still do the Quicksilver Reload item, but this has always been like an orange item that it's been in the purple category, but it is a mix between the two. It's a really cool item. I like this a lot. It's really interesting to see some gun characters build that spirit hybrid into it. Spirit Sap, interesting. So this is kind of similar to like reducing someone's bullet resist, except it reduces their spirit resist now. And you can do this as an active target and upgrade it into Silence Wave, which silences the target for 4 seconds. Wow, that's huge. Let's take a look at what Silence Wave looks like. So this is similar to what Silencing Hex was before, and it's just an upgrade now from a lower tier item called Spirit Sap. I mean, just listen to the sound as you like switch categories. Like little gun sound, little spirit sound, little potion sound. I mean, kind of nifty. I like it. Okay, so in the 6400 category, we have Ethereal Shift, Escalating Exposure, Echo Shard, Curse, Bound the Spirit, all the same. We got the upgraded Arctic Blast from Cold Front, which is a really cool CC addition to that in the 6400 category. We have Focus Lens now, which targets an enemy to silence them, and a portion of all damage dealt during the silence gets applied after it wears off. That's really cool. So if you're a high bursting spirit assassin, this might be a great item for you to include if you want additional fire rate as well. Not the greatest base stat for spirit carries, but maybe a high enough damage as that 30% kind of like Mystic Reverb type damage goes off. It could be huge if you're big bursty. Whoa, Lightning Scroll. This is a really cool item. Upgrades from Mystic Slow and makes your ultimate ability apply a stun after a short delay. I mean, what a cool item. If you have a character like Lash who already stuns on impact for 1 second and then after a short delay will stun them again, I mean, this could be insane. There's not a whole lot of, I mean, there's actually a lot of CC in the game, but CC is very strong in the game and there's not a lot of ways to remove it or prevent it. And so I think this will be a really strong item for characters with big ultimate abilities like Lash. I don't know if characters like Dynamo will use it because they're already kind of CC'd consistently, but we'll see. Scourge is a new item that applies a spirit resist and an aura on friendly target. So this is like a immolation around yourself that does 3.5 spirit max health per second and gives additional spirit resist to a target. That's interesting. And as well as an immolation around you at a 10-meter radius. Cool. Spirit Burn. Spirit Burn is a significant damage that goes out to an enemy, as well as burning the enemy and reducing their healing taken over time. Wow, that's a crazy little burst active there that does an explosion and burns nearby enemies. Incredible. Vortex Web. This is one of my favorite items that they've added here. This is a vacuum grenade that pulls everybody in and slows them. I mean, I know that there's a ton of CC that they've added with this patch, but that's just so cool that they've added this type of grenade into the game as an item. You can just toss out and suck people around and get them into your alchemical fire or into the ultimate ability that, you know, one of your teammates has used. I love that. And again, a little like Lovecraftian style. It's like tentacle that pulls people out as they get sucked into this little octopus. Okay, so that's it from the shop. There's also a new build browser menu that makes building a lot easier for content creators like myself. So that's going to be awesome to utilize in the future. And it looked like there was an additional item where after you play against somebody, you can actually click on them and take their build from what they had done. So yeah, so look at this. I can create a build based on what that person had built in his game. So wow, so that's gonna be really cool if you want to like kind of copy someone else's build. And oh, I didn't even look at the update to the graphics on some of these characters, but look at Abrams' new face. That's deadly. And Dynamo, that's cool. Let's take a look at the characters then. Abrams got a huge overhaul to all of his animations and his model in the game. He's got some new work on his shoulder charge, which now gives him this little hop step as he runs the enemy. It also dives him through the air if he's doing it in the air. He's got a new animation on his ultimate, which is really cool. His book glows as he slams his shoulder into the ground and has this big shattering earth animation. There's also some upgrades to his shoulder charge that give him weapon damage and slowing duration on use. He's got new gunfire sounds, you know, new animations to his crouch, his slide, and just some really cool things to check out in game. Dynamo, another character that got a huge overhaul with this patch. He now has new animations to his quantum entanglement, where it lobs through the air as it goes towards its target. His rejuvenating aura now glows more in his character model in the head as well. And he's got this cool new animation on his ultimate as he charges up the black hole in Singularity. It kind of like wraps him around himself as he expands into this black hole. There's a couple changes to the fire rate slow on a kinetic pulse, but overall it's just kind of like various model changes to his character and the animations that happen with each of his abilities. Grey Talon got a few small nerfs just to his spirit damage scaling on his base bullets, as well as the charge shot, but small changes, really nothing to see here. Hayes' sleep dagger now no longer wakes up from damage over time, so enemies affected by Infernus Burn, Affliction, and toxic bullets, things like that, will no longer wake up from those periodic damage effects. Holiday, just a few bug fixes. She also now does her sound only if she hits the enemy on her lasso.
Can't hold them for long.
And not when she casts the lasso. So she no longer does the voice line unless she actually hits the target. Ivy got some huge changes to her ultimate airdrop, a ton of reductions in terms of the damage and debuffs that they apply. The slow duration is now 3 seconds instead of 4. The combat barrier is reduced from 300 to 200. Overall, just a general reduction in the ability for airdrop to be used as a damage effective ability in combination with things like Kudzu Bomb. Lash got some interesting sound and graphical rework designs to his Death Slam and Flog. Now you see a new design here. His Death Slam also locks onto the target and makes a little satisfying click sound when it gets the target locked on and launches it towards its enemy. Ground Strike scaling was reduced slightly from 0.05 to 0.04, but I really don't think that's going to affect him as much as the fact that there's more rooftops in the map now and more ways for him to get around. I think he's still going to be super strong. Alright, so let's talk about McGinnis, because she got the most changes out of any character this game. Besides the crazy cool new character model that she's got and this awesome redesign around spectral abilities with her mini turrets and her wall and her barrage, new animations and models on the turrets themselves. These turrets now don't have a minimum lifespan of 3 seconds anymore, but they do have a increased spirit resist and bullet resist at the start, and that decays over time. Spectral Wall got some really cool changes. The wall will now actually curve and turn towards the last wall that it's nearby. So the furthest left and furthest right panels of it, if it's near a wall, it will curve that wall in order to properly adhere to or block off enemies around corners and things like that. McGinnis can also now use her stamina while she is using her rocket barrage to dash around, and can wall jump and still use her full mobility, which is a small reduction in her speed. So if you want to like do some wall bouncing tech while you're doing the barrage, you can do that. It's pretty cool to see her a little bit more mobile in this and not just a sitting duck, which is great. Pocket got some really cool changes to his affliction. Debuff remover now no longer actually takes off affliction, and there's a lot more upfront damage that comes with the affliction now as it did before. So I think you'll see a lot more Pocket in play now that his bullets do a little bit more damage, his affliction does more damage, and you can't remove it with debuff remover, which is the only counter that really came into play when trying to reduce a strong ultimate carry Pocket. 7 can no longer static charge himself, which is kind of unfortunate. I like that element of things, of like trying to like stun yourself and then try and steal mid by jumping in there, but now it can only be cast on enemies. Overall, this patch was massive in terms of changes to the map, the shop, the characters redesigned, the models. In terms of artwork, there's so many cool additions that they've added to the game. That's all for my video today. Thanks for tuning into the Swishari channel. Give this video a like and subscribe if you want to hear me talk about more Deadlock stuff, which is all I do on this channel once a week on Fridays. Thanks and good luck with your games this week.